All right, hey everyone, thanks for going M.I.A with us this week. I'm Robert A. And of course, Pastor Jax is here with us as a co facilitator of this group each and every week. We're excited because we have our first special guest
Yeah.
ever. We're gonna get to
Thank
that in
you.
a second. I want to first tell you all what M.I.A is, which we're wearing on my shirt. It's a mental illness awareness group specifically targeting support, not necessarily people who are dealing with mental illness, but dealing with everyday life issues and may need a place to come to get some fresh ideas on how to move about in their own personal lives and deal with their day to day issues.
So, guys, please remember no content on this channel, regardless of the date, should be used as a substitute for direct medical advice from your doctor or other qualified clinician. If you feel the need to seek medical advice or are having suicidal thoughts, you must seek professional help immediately. Reach out to your primary care physician or your local emergency room or the suicide prevention hotline at 1-800 273 8255.
Thank you, Clarence. So first and foremost, I want to welcome our very first guest ever to ever be.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely. So
Ever.
you were an added element that a lot of our supporters and viewers said that they wanted to incorporate. Some other people, some other guests into um, the live, and we heard your feedback. Thank you for giving us that feedback. And here we are. We're setting the ball high today with the first one. This
We
this is Dr. Stephanie Akoumany. She will give her own intro in a second, but I want to tell you who she is in my personal life. She is my personal life coach and friend. She is that person that helps to push me through a lot of the mental things that I have personally dealing with, and being able to know me for a long period of time of life in general, and know how to push me and get me into certain spaces. So I wanted to say that to tell you, Stephanie, why I decided to include you on this, because I remember specifically a time when we were talking, Clarence, and you'll get a kick out of this. And I'm in one of my modes, Clarence. You know how my modes get, and
Oh, Lord.
life is crazy, and she's like, Robert, just run down the street right now as fast as you can. Like, Stephanie, that's stupid. I don't got time for that. I'm not. This is not what you're here for. And she's like, I'm
Yes,
not
sir.
talking to you
Precisely what I'm here
till I
for.
see you sprinting down the street. I don't want to talk to you anymore. And I'm like, Stephanie, that's just so stupid. Like, it's just
Gallivanting
stupid.
down the street.
And so I had here she had this grown man like having to sprint down the street just to finish a conversation, and I just felt so, I don't want to say stupid at the end. I felt so silly that I took a lot of the things that I was going through a lot less serious. Just after sprinting down the street, having people look at me, stare at me all crazy. Amber's here, so I wanted to share that, to share the importance of why I wanted to include you on this podcast. And before we go forward, everyone, this little timer that you see in the corner is Pastor Jack's timer for when if he goes on too long, you'll see that
My
timer start to
personal
click
timer.
down. So he's gonna have a minute and 30 seconds to wrap up some of his
My musing.
lectures. But we're excited to get into the topic of moving your body to move your mental health. So Stephanie, give us your introduction and talk to us a little bit about why you decided to even join on this topic.
Totally. Well, thank you so much for inviting me, Robert and Clarence. I really, really
Absolutely.
appreciate it. And well, I mean, I think movement is essential. I think if we're not moving, um, I'm gonna clarify moving we're dying.
Mm,
And what I mean by that is not always physical activity. Like my mom, for instance, and I don't think she'll mind me saying this. She has fibromyalgia, so it's a
mm,
condition where her whole body just aches, like it feels like arthritis, but worse all over. But she is just like person I know, and she still finds ways to move. And so I say that because everybody has different physical abilities, but movement doesn't have to be the same for everybody. And I think it goes with what I'll say who I am. I'll get straight to the conversation. I didn't say who I was, but it's this idea that if we can move, meaning like move our ideas, take things from the idea stage to actual action,
yeah.
or just to, even if you literally like, I have friends that they have wheelchairs that they use to get around, and if they need to do that, they find ways to move in the way that they can, because fitness and just movement, it changes your energy, it raises your vibration. Even just watching other people move, you get excited. But I digress. My name, I'm so sorry. I got straight into
No,
that.
you good.
My name is Dr. Stephanie Akoumany. I'm the founder and CEO of Bloom. Bloom is a health and wellness company, leadership company. We also talk about diversity, equity, inclusion. And at the heart of it, I help people to explore who they are, who they want to be, and how they can make those dreams happen and bloom into the best version of themselves, whether that's an individual that is working like want
Right.
some life coaching, some fitness coaching, or organizations, schools, businesses that just want to get like create the company or school culture that makes them evolve
Hmm.
into the best versions of themselves. And the last part I'll add, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, I'm a person who just loves life and adventure. And I'm from Baltimore City, live close to DC now, and I'm the host of the Blooming is a Habit podcast, which basically explores the same thing. How can we all evolve into the best versions of ourselves,
Yeah, very dope,
professionally and personally?
very dope podcast. Um,
Thank you.
so yeah, I wanted to unpack some of that. Clarence, I know you've experienced some of this too. Stephanie, all of the things that you suggested are like really, um, I guess in retrospect, having done a lot of work, because we both know how far I've come. Um,
Yeah,
the
totally.
things that you have mentioned are really concrete and they really work. But there was something that didn't allow me to try it for months, right?
Tell me.
And so I don't know. That's what I want to try to help unpack.
Oh,
Clarence,
okay.
have you experienced that where it's like physically you have to get up and go get some sunlight, but you just can't.
Yeah.
Have
Yeah,
you have had that experience?
I have. As a matter of fact, I was supposed to go out on the earlier part of this week to go have a walk. And when I got myself together to do it, as soon as I was headed out the door, it was like, yeah, maybe not. And it was,
Mm,
I don't know how to put, I don't know how to put it. I don't know if it was and Dr. Stephanie, you're going to have to help me. I don't know if it was the onset of immediate depression
Hmm.
or was it just slow, you know, I don't know how to put it, but yeah, was it just me not wanting to engage?
well, I think that that's the tricky part because everybody's case will be different. I think that there's some people, like you said at the beginning of this show, like I'm not a medical doctor and I'm not a psychiatrist, but I am someone who I have a PhD. So I study philosophy, I study ideas, right? Concepts. But for me, I don't like just studying concepts. I like putting them to practice. Let's get it
Right,
going. So for me, I've studied the science of resilience. And I think this relates directly to resilience. So it's like each one of us might be going through a lot of stress in life. And the question is, how are we going to get over that challenge? I really like Les Brown, and I'm going to answer your question through this. He says it doesn't matter, not that it doesn't matter, but like it's not about what happened to you, but it's about what you do to like fix it,
Right.
right? And that's the hard part. So sometimes, yeah, totally. It can be a form of depression, but like there are levels of severity to it. You might just be having a bad day, right? Movement feels hard because when we're feeling sad, all we want to do is ball up, right? And get on the bed, eat some food that feels satisfying, and just kind of be.
Hmm.
But the moment we can, I use a phrase usually, it's not coming to mind right now, but it's like the idea of what I got to always think when I get in that space. Like I haven't been clinically diagnosed as depressed, but I've definitely had moments in my life where I felt extremely depressed,
Yeah, that's
right?
normal.
Meaning like I didn't have my finances right, I didn't have my food right. And that stuff weighs you. Your family has challenges, sickness, illness. That stuff can weigh you down. And there were tons of days I did not like. All I would do was watch Grey's Anatomy. I can tell
Hmm.
you, like Grey's Anatomy, who my then, I think he was just my boyfriend then, husband, and my mom. Those are my psychiatrists at the time.
Hmm.
And I had to realize, you know what? Like I need to get up. I need to get up. So I think whenever we're feeling down, immediate, like it might not fix everything,
Hmm.
but getting some sunlight, turn it on some, even if you can't get out the door, pick up your phone, pick up your computer, whatever, and you need to put some music on. You need something to energize you.
Yeah.
So I would say that it's definitely different for everybody. And the first thing I would do is say, like, think about what's causing you to feel upset, what triggered you,
Mm.
and move from there.
We have a few comments. Amber was here. Claudia Jackson said, "Hey everyone." Jeanette said, "Hey family." And Amber
Hey,
said that she was going through that right now. That where she would set a goal to walk a certain amount of miles per day, and then find reasons not to. So
yeah.
that we talked about. Ashley said, "Grey's Anatomy will keep you depressed." LOL.
It actually helped me out, Ashley. I don't know. I look for the end of like the little silver linings they give us in Grey's Anatomy. You know, like their plane might crash, but then they'll find a resolution. So I know that might be weird, but I look for the silver linings. And I think that's what we have to do actually. Like when we're getting upset, like so many things can go wrong in
Yeah.
one day. So many. But it's like first thing, check your expectations, right? Like what happened and what can I learn from it and do differently next time? And then I always say, like, how could it be way worse?
Mm.
Right? Even if my like electricity went off today, how could that be worse? Actually, I have a house still. I have an apartment. The electricity's off, but I still got a place, right? And that's not to belittle not having what you need, but
Definitely.
it's like that's yeah, but it's like I mean, my family like fighters, as I'm sure so many people on this um I'm about to call it a podcast, but in this live YouTube series. And it's so important to recognize, like, finding gratitude. Gratitude can shift your energy. Like, well, dang, I don't have a plate, but I might have a fork, right? Like, just something to shift your energy and not to make excuses. But to answer Amber's question about setting a goal and finding reasons why not, you got to watch out for it. In the meditation mindfulness world, we call that monkey mind. So it's like the
Mm-hmm.
idea that your brain will be searching for like the path of least resistance, like the thing that you really don't want to do, but you got to remind yourself why you set your goal, how it helped you last time, and like how maybe you can just say, look, I'm just going to do half a mile, but I'm going to just get out there, right?
Mm.
And then, or a quarter of a mile, and then before you know it, you're like, oh, I got my playlist, I'm
Right.
good, I'm just gonna walk this out.
Yeah.
So
I,
you have to like do that work.
and so, have you always been a runner your entire life?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked me that. No, I used to
Okay.
hate, and that's why I appreciate this, because I used to hate running,
So, what
like
do you mean?
as a
Like, hate it?
baby.
Like, you did it, but you, it was.
No, I didn't even do it. I At University of Maryland, I lived right next to the dorm, like literally a 5 minute walk. And for 2 years, did I ever make it in there? But to go to the swimming pool, no. I detest. I didn't see the point of working out.
Mm,
I didn't like to sweat because as a black woman, I did not have dreads. I had a perm.
mm,
Hair is expensive. I didn't want to sweat it out. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. It's just real. And sweating just felt like I was given the false narrative that it was not feminine. It wasn't
mm.
like it just wasn't good.
Yeah.
So exercise was like bad to me. And it wasn't until my husband started working out that I would look at him like, yeah, you go have fun on your run. I'll see you later. And then I started to just see him change. Like he started to get calmer. I mean, he's always calm, but like he just was like more emotionally intelligent, more understanding.
Mm,
And I saw the physical changes, and I was like, okay, must be something to this.
yeah.
So I would go with him, and I loved him, but I did not like him while I worked out
Right.
because he would
Right.
get me up at like 5:30 in the morning to go to Planet Fitness, and I was just like, look, this has to be a joke, right? Like I'm working hard. You want me to get up at what time? Um, so anyway, once I realized that some music could really shift my experience, that music was the saving grace. And I would encourage everybody make a playlist on whatever
Mm,
app that works for you, because music can like the stuff that you dance to in the car and you like want to turn up, or the stuff that if you are out dancing somewhere that you like you have to dance even though you
mm.
don't want to.
Right.
Mm.
That's the stuff that needs to be in your playlist, because you're gonna feel like invincible, right? You don't need any drinks, any other substances. You're just gonna be like, yeah.
Right.
And it shifts you into this feeling like you got power. and you need power to feel like you can move, even to lift a
and,
leg.
and that's
I stopped
important.
moving.
That's important. But really quickly, I just want everyone to know we do a lot of work to try to make sure that we don't have the technical difficulties that we usually do. So with that, Clarence is going to have to step off the camera for a second to take care of. So just to make sure we're going to be able to get through this whole
Yeah.
hour.
All
Yeah.
While
right.
he does
Listen,
that, Stephanie
thank
and
you.
I, no problem, are going to we're going to go through the comments because we have a few comments. But I want to say really quickly that a lot of the things you talked about are so mental they're crazy. Like building a playlist. Like it's so mental to even like take it serious, right? To even
Right.
start to even say like I'm gonna be intentional about how I build this playlist because of how
Yes.
music shapes my behavior when I do
Totally.
certain things. And so like you even have to work yourself out of that mental elitism to say like, you
Yes.
know, I if I'm desperate, why am I so elitist to say that I shouldn't try this? Or if I'm,
Because
you know,
we want to feel like everything we're doing is fine. And I've been there. Like
mhm,
that's like human nature. We don't like change, but the one thing you can always bet on is that there will be change.
right,
Like it's always coming.
always happening.
And that stresses us out. Like that stresses us out. We want comfort. We want our family to be the way we want them to be. We want our food to be. We like routines, but guess what? We don't like other people. Like we don't want to build them ourselves. We're used to our parents building our routines or whoever was there for us. If somebody was there for us, and if nobody there for us, you got to make a decision. But I think that's why people say adulthood is hard because
Yeah,
like if it's not scheduled, it's not
it's not
happening.
happening. Yeah, yeah,
It's
that's
crazy.
interesting. That's interesting. Hey, everyone that's watching, we have some comments. We're gonna go through those. If you feel comfortable, if you think someone will benefit from this conversation, feel free to share the link with them because they may have some questions that they want to comment on. And as always, if you want to comment anonymously, you can do so in the description bar below. There's a link that you can click to uh, to comment anonymously. I'll also put it in the chats. Minaj is here. She says hello. Claudia Jackson
Hello.
says, now that you incorporate movement into your routine, what changes have you seen with your depression? I guess that was for Clarence, but I can answer that because I've definitely spent some time in some depressed states. And I can say that for me, it definitely causes my body to shift gears um, in terms of so my body kind of becomes the motivator. Like my body is now like kind of
Mm,
asking my mind like now what? Like now what do we do? And then my
right.
mind has to find a solution for that. So now my mind has to figure out what's going to be done with this energy inside of my body now, and it usually leads to something productive, even though I don't feel great. And when I'm able to, he must have forgot to put his mic on mute. It's okay. As I start to work um, and I don't feel great, but I'm producing things. Like a lot of people will tell people, like, you know, I know a lot of friends that have lost weight, and they say they lost weight in like bad times in their life, but people tell them, you look great. And it's like, you know, I feel terrible, but, you know, it's causing some productivity in my life. So for me, to incorporate movement in my routine has really been able to get me to chip away at some things that I want to do, to be able to celebrate myself a little bit more and more, and then get a little bit more drive to push more at it until I can build myself and climb myself out of that hole essentially, to be able to go, and attack life again. And again, depressive states are normal. What becomes abnormal is how long you allow them to last. So don't
Mm,
feel like you
yes.
experience depression that there's something wrong. Chase and Corey made a very great debut all this time. It's okay. We enjoyed them. I was just I wanted to see that face on you when I told you. That's the only reason I told you. But they were fine. But so making sure that you shorten those time frames where you feel depressed by adding these types of things into your routine are very important. Stephanie, you have anything to add on to that comment?
Yeah, I would. And I think it's important because, um, okay, I think that was awesome. And I'm trying to like not repeat anything you said. That's why I'm pausing. I think the major thing I would say is, as somebody who, like, for myself, I went through like that period I was talking about with Grey's Anatomy. That was the time where I'm so serious. That was like it saved me. Oh God.
Shameless
But
saved me,
anyway,
so I'm not gonna judge you because Shameless saved me. Like if I didn't, If I didn't have
You know,
Well,
characters at a
shameless isn't
certain
also
period
oh
of
my
my life,
God, shameless.
if those characters weren't there for me, I don't know what I'd have done.
it's
I
important
find
though, and they
myself
talk about
I find myself with shameless trying to figure
Let
out
me let
which
me start
character
your
I
timer.
should
Let me
be.
start your timer. All
Go
right,
ahead, Dr.
go.
Lisa.
But no, shows are important, and I think that no, they really are actually. I think that shows can help you, but you got to watch out if you're just watching aimlessly, or
Yeah,
if you're trying to learn something from them, because like they dropping gems on purpose. Like they
Mhm.
get paid to drop gems. The question is, are you looking at the drama or the gems?
Right,
or the gym.
Right,
right.
Wow.
right. You know, like it's
Oh,
just as serious that. But to add to what you were saying, yeah. So like as a person who has not been diagnosed with any mental illness, but who has experienced feelings of depression, right, feelings of sadness, feelings of weight, and talking to so many of my clients, everybody feels some very, like you were saying, some sense of depression, some sense of guilt, weight, shame, any emotion that weighs us down. And the trick is to really really observe your feelings
Yeah,
without judging them.
yeah.
And that's the hardest thing because we as humans we're quick to judge. Um, we judge ourselves more than
Stephanie,
we
your mic went out.
judge other people without us
Can you hear
realizing
me?
it. So and I feel like you should ask me the question again because I feel like I'm about to go away from what the original question was.
Well, well,
I'm
we,
sorry.
you like blanked out a little bit, so we missed like a
Yeah, you did too.
and.
Can you ask the question again so I can make sure I stay on track?
Well, it was just a comment about now that you incorporate. Well, actually, Clarence, it was for you, but now that you incorporate movement into your routine, what changes have you seen with your depression?
Totally. I I'll finish it and then
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
feel
yeah.
free. So yeah, so movement it helped me to realize that I was powerful still. Because in moments of shame or depression or frustration, you feel, well, I don't know about everybody, but I felt, and many of my clients, they feel a bit powerless, like they lost control somewhere
Mm.
in the spectrum of their lives, and they feel like they can't get back to where they want
Get
to, a
back,
sense of
hold
normal.
on the hold, rain,
Yeah.
hold on the
And
rain.
so the Say it again. Oh yeah, hold on. Yes. So it made me feel like I could do something, even if it was just walking, right? Even if it was just a sit up or a push up. Like, all right, I can do that. It was like I could check a small thing off the list. And then seeing like my endurance last longer, like being able to get on a bike and go up a big hill. Like, oh my goodness, I didn't know I could do that. And it also showed me like the limitlessness of our bodies.
Mhm.
We can do things that we didn't think were possible. I think we look at athletes and Olympians and we're like, whoa.
Right,
And we don't think we could do it. But it helped me to realize that if I train myself to do these things when I feel sad, then dag, when I feel good, I can do amazing things as well. And hey, this is the way to make myself feel better again.
right.
And like lost, weight in a way that was helpful. Everybody doesn't need to lose weight, but for me, I needed to feel better in certain ways. And I don't mean about body shaming. I mean like I felt like I couldn't run. Like I felt
Like a step
different, and
behind.
everybody's body will be different on that. So
Mhm.
just to be clear, not body shaming at all. Just saying like everybody knows how they feel and how they want to feel, and they have the right to that.
Yeah. So, Clarence, do you need me to repeat that for you, or you got it?
No, I think it was about incorporating movement into routine and how does that help to alleviate depression.
Your like how like what changes have you seen in your depression with it?
Oh well, in my own specific life, I think when I get up and start, even honestly, even when I start cleaning, start the time,
Hmm.
even when I start cleaning, most times when my house is cluttered, and granted, as you guys have witnessed, I've got two quite rambunctious children, and so they are the boss of me, and to bring in help and other things to help me. But movement kind of help getting up, cleaning up kind of helps me, declutter my mind. And so when I really,
Hmm.
really have a whole lot on my mind, I'll notice that I'll get up and I'll clean my room first.
Mm.
And then I'll go into the kitchen and then kind of start hitting kind of the hot spots. I stay out of the kids' room because I have a theory on that. It's only it's only gonna get back to where it was. And so with movement, I think with movement and my and helping to cure my depression, so long as I'm up and my movement is helping me to get something done. And so a
Wow.
lot of people,
Wow.
will get up and go outside and start walking or whatever. That's getting something done too because you're lowering their heart rate. You're,
Hmm.
taking that it's that fight or flight mentality and putting it into proper practice. And so I think a lot of times when we move, especially with me, I'm able to think through what I'm doing. If I'm focused on sweeping or focused on sorting clothes or whatever, I'm also thinking about whatever I'm thinking about,
Mhm.
you know? And so I just have recognized that when I get up and start moving, it helps me to be able to really kind of declutter my mind while decluttering my space.
Yeah.
Was I
Yeah.
over 90 seconds?
No, I didn't even
I
start
think
your
you were
timer.
fine.
I
Thank you
didn't even
so
start
much, Doc.
your
I
timer.
need you more.
I said wow because
Can I
I
say one
said
thing?
Yeah.
No, go ahead, Robert.
no.
I
I
think
was just saying
maybe
that I
people
said
lied.
yeah. I was just
Hmm.
saying that I said wow because when you were away fixing the audio, like I said the exact same thing that I got to chip away at
Wow.
very little things and then
Yeah. Look
starts
at
to
that.
like snowball up. I might
Mhm.
throw it in somebody's face later. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
so it was interesting. It was interesting that you had the same experience. So maybe Claudia, if you consistently incorporate some type of movement. Clarence said for him, cleaning and there's a lot of different types of ways to get your body going. That'll start to be able to alleviate that as you've seen. But Stephanie, you wanted to piggyback on something else before we move.
Yeah, yeah, and just like also like I always try to like I am, I'll call myself a scientist because I'm a newly emerging scientist, but I love science and I love psychology and neuroscience, and the little I know about it is that the good thing about fitness and movement, it releases endorphins
Endorphin.
into your
Yeah.
body so that that hormone actually makes you feel good. It's feel good hormone, kind of like what cannabis does for the body, without needing to lose your memory at the moment, because that's not really, you don't want to go out. Well, I won't tell anybody what they want to do, but you might not want to go out, intoxicated or high while running. It may not be, you know.
It's
But
always good to see a trained professional deal with. I want to sit back and say, "Oh, this is going to be good." I want to see how she's going. Good job, Doc. Always
Thank you.
relish in the moment where it's like, "Ooh, she gonna say."
I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, I think that people have the right to do what they want to do as long as they're not hurting somebody else. But we definitely know the effects of alcohol on our body. Like, of course, in moderation, go have fun, but just know the effects. Like, if you do it every day or do it every night, it's going to have effects on your body, and it's actually going to go against your fitness regimen. Like, you can work out all you want, and just like eating McDonald's, like you eat McDonald's every other day, and you work out, well, you might not get the benefits that you were going to get. So
Right. That's a
and that's
15
not
every 30.
what you say.
I'm sorry, that was for Robert. That's a 15 every 30.
Yeah, we have we
I
have we have
mean,
this
and it's
theory
no judgment
that we
at
should
all.
take
It just like
Stephanie. We have this
mhm.
theory, and you should probably help us incorporate it.
All
We
right.
we
When I
personally
study.
think, and it's really because well, he works like me. I'm a pretty hard worker. I think
Yeah.
if America we think if America shifts to a system where you're allowed 30-minute breaks for every 15 minutes of work, that America would be
Oh.
a lot more productive
Like
over the
imagine
long haul.
that.
I mean, mentally, it's something that we need.
I'll be 15.
Well, but I think we'll be more productive. I think that allowing people, like, for real though, like allowing people to take breaks when that's the problem though. This actually relates to fitness and
Mhm.
mindfulness. I think so many people are in jobs that they are not fulfilled by. Whether
Yeah.
like unfortunately didn't have an experience at school where they were able to build up the skills to do so,
Mhm.
or they don't feel like they did. Sometimes imposter syndrome gets in our way, and we actually could do it. At least try. But I think I would encourage everybody, like, if you're in a job that you hate, you need to find the next best thing quick,
Take your
like
30 every
quick,
15.
basically, because you want to be in a job where they're gonna like you're gonna be trusted, to take a break when you need to. You want to
Yeah.
love something so much that, like, I was just talking to my husband last night. I was like, we were up at like 2 o'clock in the morning. We're like, it's not enough hours of the day. Like, I have so much juice left. Like, I got so much more content to produce and not enough hours. Like, if I want to run 8 miles in the morning, I need to go to sleep. Like, I want everybody to, like, look, I understand that's coming from a privileged place. I grew up in a family where that was not the luxury. But I do think that I hope if people have an internet connection, like, get on Coursera,
Mm.
get
Yeah.
on like any like Scholarly. I can't even think of, not Scholarly, that's scholarship, but what's the other
There's
ones?
another
There's a
Udemy.
great Coursera course in the description of this
uh,
video, by the way. The science of
Thank you.
well-being. So
Yes, I
make
need to look at that.
that course.
I
modern
heard you talk about that last time.
there's another one called Modern Classrooms that you can use that'll
Yes, you got a lot of.
And Udemy is another one too. But like, get the skills are out there, and even for free. And I think that if people feel more fulfilled, like, you're gonna want to move. Oh, I think Robert's okay. It's back. I think you're gonna want to move. You're gonna want to feel your best, and you won't feel so stressed. Um, where you feel like you can't move, and it's challenging because you got to juggle. But I think it's like remembering that this whole thing, our lives, is a marathon, and you're not going to get everything done at one time. But like, even if you literally, like, we're all, if we look at our screen time, we're all on Facebook or Instagram,
be
Snapchat, TikTok, whatever it is,
doing something.
something for at least 30 minutes a day, if not like 10 hours, who knows. So like, if we even just took half of that time and checked ourselves, like we check our kids to make sure they're doing the right thing to help them
Yeah.
succeed. You can't give up on you. And look, how you going to tell them to do better when you're not trying yourself? They
Right.
watching.
Yep, they
They
watch.
watching. Like,
Yep, they watch.
learning is lifelong. So like, I would say, like, if you feel like you got kids so you can't work out, like, if you can. I understand everybody's schedule is different, but like,
Lift
if
your
there's a
kids up.
moment, work out with them.
Pick them up and down, up and down, up and
Yes.
down,
Oh,
That
for
is a
sure though.
workout.
in and
I did
out,
that when I
in
was
and
a
out.
baby.
They're gonna have
Play
a
with
Oh,
great time.
totally. Get on the floor and
run
do
with them.
those.
They're gonna have
Play
Run
a
with
with
them.
great time.
all of
Yes. And if you feel out of shape, that's okay. Like, don't judge yourself, because that's showing you. Because for me, it was like, I need to make sure. Well, at that point when I had a child, I had literally, and I'm not, this is gonna sound like silly, but I'm not trying to be like that. I used to hate running. I could have asthma. I couldn't do anything. If I had to get on the treadmill, I would fall out. So this is coming from a person who hated workout, was out of shape, didn't know anything about workouts, and it was never taught to me.
Mm,
So like, take that as like encouraging, that no matter
wait,
how out of shape you feel, you
yeah,
can do it. Because I literally just ran a marathon, um, at the Baltimore Marathon last, I don't know if that was October, November. I don't know. I just did it whatever day, some day in the fall.
one of
And
those
I
I
did
did.
it.
I don't know.
Yeah, one of those days.
and I'm gonna do it again. Yeah.
I just got it done. No, I'm serious. Time really doesn't matter to me anymore. If I have a deadline and like I knew I needed to be here, that's when I look at the calendar. If not, it's just
Think
rolling.
you
I'm just
went out
doing.
for a second step.
And I think, but somebody asked, and I think it was Amber. She said, schedule that I follow every day to accomplish all my goals, or am I flexible? So yes, I have to be flexible because of my daughter. I'm homeschooling her, which I recognize is definitely a privilege, even though very challenging sometimes. We call it world schooling. We see the world as our school. So with that, and running a business, and having like family with cancer, and my dad's cancer, and my mom is sick. Well, she's doing, she's not sick, but she has challenges that make it hard for her with certain things. But like, they're warriors, and they push me to like keep going. So I'm flexible with myself, but I have some benchmarks, some checkpoints
Like,
during the day, that like hot top priorities, middle priorities, and low. And the top, I got to get those done. I try to just set 3 of them a day, even though I got like 20. And the middle ones, I try to get at least 2 out of the 3. The low ones, maybe 1 of them. And when my daughter goes to sleep, I
it's gone. So
just, so no nap. So I can't, you just have to like pivot. It's like a dance. You gotta just like roll with it. You gotta rock with it. When it's hard, I'm like, let me put on the music. So I do plan everything out. I use the Nike Fitness app. It's called the Nike Run Club.
Yeah.
I'll share that in the comments um,
Yeah.
after you ask the
Back into
question.
the comments too.
Yeah.
We have quite a few. I want to go back up to Tiffany's because I don't want to skip anyone.
Hmm.
Claudia, you got a lot of love out of us too, so make sure that you order a T-shirt from the website in the description below. The coupons are still
Available.
so you have no excuse
Yes.
not to order that shirt.
I know y'all
Start.
not taking so long. Y'all want one with Pastor Jack on there. Y'all can have that too.
All right, cool. Clarence, this one is coming straight to you. Then Tiffany is back, and Tiffany said, I have periods when I set a goal towards something, and I be consistent for a while. Then I fall off the wagon. I lose the momentum I started with, and I notice this comes and goes during stressful periods. I'm trying to
Hmm.
learn to keep going, getting some sunshine, and keep going.
Yes.
So, did you want to address that, Clarence? Talking about like the momentum. So,
Yeah. Um, I think that it's important to remember, like my sister said to me, sometimes your body just needs to rest. And if you
Hmm.
continue to keep going and going and going, that body who requires a certain amount of rest will take its rest. And so what you'll find, I think, is you'll find yourself stressing because something on your to-do list did not get done, or something
Right.
on your one of your goals was not able to be accomplished because you burned out. Now, if you are experiencing, let's say, fatigue as a result of feeling like lawlessness, or your life is not worth the energy, then that's a different conversation. But I think what you're saying to me is you have these goals, you're so energized to get it done, and then after a while you're like, I done this and the kids and then job and my husband or whomever and yeah, and then you're like, oh shoot, I never paid or I never sent in the
Right.
letter, or oh man, and it was a major thing, and you're like, I'll never forget it, but somehow you just kind of. And so what I would probably recommend there is, like Dr. Stephanie say, you need to set some low, middle, and high level goals. The things that you have to get done, the stuff that I get it done when I get to it, and the stuff that's like, oh, I deal with that if I
mhm,
deal with it, right?
right.
And so I think that might help you. But if Tiffany, if I'm left and not right, you go ahead and tell me in the comments how what I didn't.
And I think too, with something that's important. I used to work with this life coach, and she would be like, Robert," um, she would say
He's so
like,
pretentious, man.
let's not look at it as losing momentum. Let's look at it as you identifying when you need rest. Maybe at stressful moments, you need to
Where's the lie?
and you need to be able to process those periods of stressful moments. Maybe you just need to stop. Don't really think about it as you losing momentum, right? Because nobody finished the way they start. You start a race, you feel real good when you start that race. When
Yeah, real
and
good.
you may still even be at the same pace that you started at, but you don't
Right,
feel the same,
right. It's not.
right?
Yeah,
You
something
don't
not
have the
right.
same
And
momentum on your shoulders that you
can
start.
I say can
Yeah,
I say something
absolutely.
about that?
Uh huh.
Because the whole time you're saying that, I'm thinking about the literal marathon that I never thought I could do
Mm-hmm.
physically. And it's not about me. It's like I see this, and it's like in addition to like human possibility. Because if one human could think this could never be possible to run 26 miles straight and like not stop, and that doesn't mean like I took breaks because I had to, like I hadn't prepared for hills in Baltimore. But that's another conversation. But what I mean is, if you think about the race, you might like where you are now in life, based on like the how organized you're able to be based on like financial circumstances, help with your kids, your job schedule, your personal needs, like all these factors that we're trying to like juggle and balance. But the one thing that I would say, if nobody took anything from what I said, your endurance, your strength now is going to be completely different if you keep thinking about what you need to make yourself better, because it's just like a physical fitness, like it's just about mental fitness. And what I mean by that, like emotional fitness, right? Like the ability to be able to say, you know what, this is what I'm going through right now. I might need to get some help, assistance to deal with it, or let me just kind of wait it out, write what's going on.
Yeah.
but you can train your mind. You can train your body to evolve. It is like, please take, I could do nothing at all physically. And I was very easily stressed out before. And the things that helped me were to not judge myself
Hmm.
and to recognize that I might only be able to go physically and literally 2 miles right now, but if I keep training, I can go 26. And hey, there's Ironman. Like, oh, you might say, oh, wow, she ran a marathon. There are people out there going 70.3 miles. I'm not there yet. Yeah, look at your face, Clarence. You're like, what? No, I'm
I'm not
serious.
doing that.
Is a bike race? Oh, look, you think I used to say that about the marathon. I did a 5K
Don't
first,
make
a
that
little
face,
puddle run
buddy.
at Raven Stadium. Then I did a half, and I said my husband wanted to do a marathon. I was like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
must be
You go
crazy.
right
You want
on
me to run that times two? And
Crazy.
then I realized, you know what? I think I can do it. Like, I've shown everything he's done, I can do that too. And not about competition, but like, if another human that I love and respect can do it, then I can try. And now it's like I'm mad when I can't run. Like, it's the most freeing thing. Um, oh man, that's a whole other conversation. But my point is, recognize that the race you're trying to win now can change and be easier if you keep getting your life like the way you want it to be. And the race, that doesn't mean you won't have more challenges, but you'll be able to juggle them more easily, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So great. And yeah, Tiffany, we hope you're still here and we hope you absorbed all that. Sorry we took long to get to your comment. But in those stressful
Sorry,
periods,
Tiffany.
yeah, make sure that you just keep getting some sunshine and keep just riding your
Yes.
wave. You gotta, and that's your flow. You gotta know your wave and your flow, right? Like you're not always gonna be
Mm-hmm.
in the verse. Sometimes you gonna go into the hook and take a break for a second, and that's okay. And speaking about music, the reason I said that is because we were going back to the playlist, Stephanie, that we were talking about. And Minaj
Mm-hmm.
said that music is now my safe haven of stress, which is also mine. You know, I went through some stuff this week that was just like, if it had not been for a future today,
on my side.
where would I be? Oh
My
God,
God, my God.
definitely, I can't wait to debrief with you. But so yes, I feel you on that, Minaj. Jeanette said we are made mostly of water. The vibration of sounds affect us. Sound in
Yeah.
general is powerful. Try waking up to affirmations instead of an alarm clock. Jeanette, having an
Mm.
affirmations video coming out very soon, so make sure that you be playing that while you sleep. Um,
Yes, man.
Totally. It makes a
like
difference.
it does.
Like, yeah,
Subconscious
sound really
programming
affects us.
really
Mm-hmm.
really drives your behavior. What you think about yourself is, and this is scientific. This is not my thought. What you think about yourself and other people is really driven by your subconscious because your
Mm-hmm.
subconscious doesn't judge anything. Like my subconscious says Clarence has big lips. It doesn't say anything else after that. That's just the
That's
subconscious
where it
thought.
starts and stops. But see,
And
when my
oh, wait, I
subconscious
haven't
starts
started your timer yet. I haven't started your timer yet. Hold on. Hold on.
my
Hold
subconscious
on. Hold
starts to
on, because I haven't started your
feel
time.
itself, my subconscious will say things like, "Wow, Robert,
Your
you
time is
can
going.
shred paper with your teeth." I little things, and I become a whole lot more relaxed because now if I ever need like a cardboard shredder or like a heavy metal shredder, I know precisely where to go. There was a time where I needed
Wow.
to carve wood and I didn't have a proper
He
wood
really is
carving.
taking it to the next level now.
Wow. Wow. You got a minute left. You done?
No, I'm good unless you want to go
Okay,
ahead and
cool. No, I'm going to wait till we
Let's
get
hear
off
each
this
other
thing.
answer everybody's
Yeah.
questions,
So
please.
right.
Tiffany said that she came back when you made your comment, Clarence, and she said, yes, movement is key. It helped me a lot. I noticed a difference in myself since exercising in the evenings. I'm also raising my 5-year old niece, and she is so active.
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, that's exercise right there. 5 year
Yeah,
old.
Totally.
just keep up with her. And my children are 5 and 6, and if no other reason, if I want to lay in the bed all day, I still know I can't. Right?
Yeah, you
Because
can't. Yeah,
I
you
just
can't.
can't. I
Yeah, you
just
can't.
there's I could lock the door. They're gonna figure out a way to get in that room. And that's every room that has a lock on it, the bathroom, the bedroom, every door. And
They're
so,
great engineers.
I mean, I don't know how. And so, Tiffany, you're absolutely right. If you can't do anything else, you got to make cereal. You got to clean up cereal.
Mhm.
You gotta. If walking to the bathroom, if you've laid in the bed for 2 hours, you're going to move quickly because you're going to have to navigate small toys on the floor. And so all of those things can be incorporated in. Yeah, I moved today. I worked harder than
I
you
did the Tootsie slide to the bathroom.
today. Like just now, I just did it. So yeah,
Zishara said that she was all for 30 every 15. Uh, and Tiffany said jump rope, walks, bike riding, etc. Mashana put a very important course. Allison courses are another good resource for you to tap into. She's put that into the comments. You can Google that on your time.
She
Zishara
sent that.
said, yeah, Zishara said, I'm getting into incorporating hiking into my regimen. And yeah, that's something that really helps me too because
Yeah.
it's a different level of oxygen as you go higher up.
yeah.
You train your brain and your
Hmm.
lungs to really take in more. Chanel, but welcome back, Chanel. You haven't been with us since we had technical difficulties, but it's
Hey
okay. We're glad
Chanel.
that you're back with us. She says, "So true. I do fitness martial with my daughter. Yeah, see, they incorporate those kids because the children will hold you accountable. They
Hmm.
they will make sure that if you tell them
What?
you're going to work out with them,
They'll do
Right.
anything with them.
they're going to show up
Yeah.
ready and available. Ready,
And
Every
willing,
it's
and
time.
available. So
you
if
know what's
go ahead.
oh go ahead.
Nope, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, for that was hard at the beginning. When kids stay up late at night,
Mm,
or when they just can't fall asleep. It's because they got all this stored up energy, just
yeah,
like we do, and they don't have anywhere to put it. So
channel.
they
Yeah,
need to move, they need to play. And you might say, "Oh, you went to gym class early," but they still got it. Like we wish we were like them. But what I'm
mm,
saying is, we can get there. Actually, is as impossible as it seems. So gamifying, making things a game with your kids instead of because we it might feel inclined to yell like take your butt to bed, but you can't because like it's literally on a biological level. It is not their fault. They got energy and they need to get it out in a fun way. So you can either choose. This is where the choices come in. You're gonna either choose to suffer or you're gonna choose to like play with them. But then also, of course, set boundaries. Like, okay, like we all know when our kids have reached the limit where it's time to slow down now,
Yeah.
right? So play and they get what they want and then negotiate. Like you teach them to be good negotiators by it. You're not losing. You teach them that negotiation is an important part of life and that you can have fun and then slow down. So I use YouTube a lot. Like after her bath, I often use YouTube like and do some nighttime yoga or put on like nighttime jazz or like whatever it is that good works for you or
Yeah.
like nighttime stories
Yeah.
because then it's still a fun way but to like be
to
calm
like start to
Yeah.
and it might not work the first few times you like us it takes like 21 days or more to create a habit so you got to hold on tight
Yeah.
like hold
And
on
that's
tight.
and that's so true, Dr. Stephanie, because my children will argue with me if I forget to put the bedtime story on Alexa.
Yeah,
Now,
totally.
before my son would go hysterical. I don't want to hear a story. I don't. And now it's like, Daddy, my
where
story
are
isn't working. And it's just really for me.
Yeah,
I know it's something that'll keep them engaged. I know that
totally,
they're able to sit there and just kind of zone out while listening to a story. And so
totally.
after a while, I'll go check on them and they're both asleep, or they're both still awake, but they're still listening to the story.
engage? Yeah,
And
Right.
so I really, really encourage that for anybody who's got young kids. And I must admit, I hadn't looked at it the way Doc had just put it, in that they still have all, like, even when you're working on one of your favorite projects, as Dr. Stephanie was saying, and it's
Yeah.
time to go to bed, but it's like, I got to get this content out, but I got to get up at
Right.
6 too. So it's like,
Yeah.
what do I do? And so that's a great thing to do. And then the meditation uh, um,
Yes.
that we have is another great opportunity, another great
Mm-hmm.
resource. I've also picked up, begun to use Audible more. And
Me
so
too.
even if it's just playing a book that I enjoy, putting it on low, like I know I've listened to Becoming 67 times, but I'll play it. I'll play it again, because and even Michelle's voice is nice and somber in the reading, and so
Mhm.
try those things. I'm telling you, it works. Jazz. I also play brain music for the kids at night.
Mhm.
Sleep, listen to this music. I'll play the Bible for kids edition for them. Something to keep
Yeah.
them engaged.
Native American flutes is another really peaceful sound, or drums, or Spanish guitar. Like everybody's gonna have to, or even classical. I used to look at classical and laugh like,
Classical.
"What is that?" And now I'm like, "Oh, like
See that.
okay." Or meditative music, um, or just Google if you're stressed out about something. Of course, go to Robert and Clarence's meditation. But
Precisely.
after that, if you
Immediately.
need
Not that
something during the
one.
daytime, maybe, or you want to switch it up, just like literally, whatever. This may seem so easy, but I think we forget when we're stressed out. Whatever it is that's stressing you out, yeah. Wait, Zoe, you're still doing the interview. I'm sorry.
You said you were gonna play with me at
Zoe,
8:22.
Zoe, I'm almost done.
It's
Thank you,
time.
Brandon. Like,
Perfect example. It's
okay,
time for her to
so
work out.
yeah, yes.
So
I'll see you
let me
soon.
zoom through these comments really
But
quickly. But go ahead, finish that thought. So finish that thought, and then we're gonna get through the rest of the comments.
yes, okay. So what I was gonna say is Google whatever is stressing you out, Google meditation for like I need to fix my money problems, or meditation for stress, or like get really specific with your Google searches. This is the last thing I'll say.
Mhm.
We are in a time where we have a phone, a piece of like a device that our grandparents could never imagine, where it can give you answers to any problem that you have ever. And if it doesn't, maybe you can be the one to create the content to fix it, right? Like Robin and Clarence are doing right now. So my point is like be very intentional with your Google searches for the things that you need, and realize like worrying is not a good strategy. I repeat, worrying is not a good strategy. The moment of challenge comes, what solution can I come? What solution can I create? Or if I don't know it, who can I ask for help? I'll
Right.
pause there.
Yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, I wish I hear you guys. I wish I had the half of energy that my son has.
Totally.
Right, Clarence, what do you think I could do if I had half of Lil Rob energy?
Man.
Real quick.
Go get to your questions.
What? Okay. All right. Tiffany said, I have many situational episodes of stress. I pay my bills on time, always, etc. It's just goals toward my book business. I plunge in, and when those many episode stress come in, I get weighed down and tired and put it to the side until I get over the hump of it all. As a creative, Stephanie, I'm going to tell you
Hmm.
that everything in life has its season. And in a capitalist society, we are taught that we're supposed to bloom all year. And we're supposed to have
You
strawberries all
can't.
year. And we're supposed to have oranges and apples and everything at our disposal all year. And naturally, that's just not the natural course of life. Everything has
No.
its right season. And
Yep.
we have to view ourselves as that. Like, there are certain seasons where I'm not producing anything and I'm judging myself,
Anything.
and I'm like, I need to
Right.
be doing this, and I just can't seem to bring anything out of the ground. And then, when I hit my season, which is the same time every year, everything starts to flow. So you got to know when you got to start to like sow into you, and then when you need to
Totally.
pick that business back up. Because if you lay it down, it's going to be there when you're ready to pick it back up. Not everything is full throttle, full force all the time. There will come a time, and it's just my personal opinion, just in writing books and doing different things in life, that all of those things happen in seasons, not in a planning phase like building a building. It is
Right.
that's not organic, and I want you to give yourself some freedom to be organic, as a human, and not be so locked into that mode of you get weighed down. I'm just listening to the language, like I plunge in, and then when those many episodes of stress come in, I get weighed down. That's natural. Like that's a natural response
It
to
is.
stress,
It is.
Totally.
natural even indicator to say, hey, I'm stressed out, right? So if that didn't
Right.
happen, you wouldn't even know that you were stressed. So it's a good thing to notice it, but figure out other ways of what to do with it other than putting a judgment.
That makes sense.
Right. Totally. I will say, yeah, you're 100% right. things like in nature, some fruits, some vegetables. Oh, I mean, I'm fruits, but I'm thinking about a flowering plant. Most do have flowers, but my point is, most flowers do not bloom all year, right? You have winter. But I will say that for the human mind, you're right. But I was going to push against it a little bit, play a
Okay.
little devil's advocate.
Okay. Clarence does it all the
Like I
time.
said, I'm going to
Should I
push
put you on the
against it.
clock?
Say it again.
I said Clarence does it all the time. Should I put you on the clock?
Okay, no, I'm gonna be quick.
No, take your
No, you
time.
got a choice to. I say that yes, you're right, but it's always blooming season. Meaning, you always
Oh,
have the
there you
choice
go.
with
Yeah.
some work to change and choose what you're going to be happy about, what you're going to be grateful for, and shift your energy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what we need to do is redefine what blooming means,
Mm.
right? So when I say bloom when you're planted, it means like where you are in life, what's going well. All right, this is the 5 second, well, five quick points.
Mm-hmm.
Businesses do something called a SWOT analysis.
Mm-hmm.
And this is saying what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats.
Mm-hmm.
So, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It is your choice to view, and you might need some practice of this. I did, to not criticize yourself and say, look, I do have strengths, I do have weaknesses, like things I can improve, and I do have many opportunities. I might need to create the opportunities, and I do have threats. So, if you do that, it can always be blooming season. It can always be a choice about what you can be grateful for and happy about. Um, but that may take time, and you may need to pause, right? So I will say, yeah, we live in a capitalist society. Yeah, things can be pretty effed up, and yeah, there are inequalities. But our ancestors said, "Look, I'm sorry, but f that.
Mm-hmm.
Things got to change, and each one of us got to make that change in our own homes, like and in our own minds." And I think that shows like this are very helpful because it shows you how you can fix things in your life, even when society isn't really um, supporting you. You got to make a way out of no way, like our grandparents did, right?
Yeah.
And so don't worry about nothing. Like you can't. You got to trick yourself to not worry. Women, so you can't do that. So yeah, I'll stop there because I know the clock is almost
No,
over.
you're good. You good.
No, that
Clarence.
was good. You got to trick yourself. You finished that sentence.
You until well, you have to trick yourself until it becomes real, because like your brain has the beautiful ability to believe what you tell it to do. There's something called neuroplasticity, so you can always reshape new neural connections, new ideas to shape your behaviors. Like you are nothing but your ideas, so you have to say, look, yeah, people getting shot outside left and right, but look, I'm gonna keep going and going and act like that's not happening for a moment. Put that bad stuff in the closet, because like for one, people win, right? And for second, I mean, secondly, you cannot advance, you cannot evolve if you let society hold you down. So whether you need to walk, run, crawl, jump over something, you better do it, because otherwise you're gonna be stuck. And if you need help, you need to figure out who you can get help from. But don't just stop, because you're worth more than that. You got to redefine your value.
Well, with that, we're gonna give Stephanie a point on the board. Clarence, I see your face. Um, so I guess she gets a point. So she's tied with you. I mean, and she only been on the show one time, bro, and she tied with you already. So, Doctor Stephanie
Good.
Akoumany,
And it wasn't, you know how sometimes people are
your audio,
expecting,
bro.
can't hear me?
Yeah, I
Like,
can hear you
I
now.
hear you now.
Okay, you know how sometimes people are expecting like real deep and complex theories, or at least I always expected those real deep.
Hmm.
That was real simple and so simple. You know, it really helped to give me what I need.
You're like going in and out.
I don't know why. Maybe through my life.
I'm gonna say what I was going to say. So everyone, Dr. Stephanie Akoumany's Instagram tag is on the screen. Be sure to follow her on all of our
Yes, please.
there. Please make sure she posts very inspirational things to her story. So even if you just happen to be scrolling online and you happen to stumble on her story, you can't help but get uplifted, even if you don't want to. It really upsets me a lot of times because I like to be
That's not what I
angry.
wanted,
Like,
right?
when I'm upset, I want to
You
stew in it for a minute. I want to, and then she's like, anger only turns inward. And it's like, oh, dear God, thank you.
you have to check that. You got to get over a victim mentality, wanting to be sad. You don't want to feel like they got to feel abundant, right? So keep going on my page and get some more inspiration.
I'm going to take your point away.
But I also want to make sure to say if people can go on Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from, you can. I'm sorry, my daughter's trying
Go
to do a
right
science
on ahead.
experiment right now. But the Blooming is a Habit podcast has tons of professional development, self care, motivation, and just anything that you're trying to get through in life. We're covering it. So subscribe, share, and inspire. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for
Thank you
being
so
here.
much,
The link
Laverne.
is the link to the Blooming is a Habit podcast is going to be in the description.
Thanks,
So
Robert. I
please make
appreciate
sure that
that.
you check
Yes.
that out. And of course, thank you all for being here with us. Thank you for bearing with us through the tough times. Thank you for your suggestions on bringing guests on. I think it was a very enriching conversation. Thank you all for being here. Comments. Thank you for going M.I.A. And we can't wait to see you again next Wednesday at 7:30.
God bless.
Thank you so
God
much, you
bless
guys.
you.
This was a
Thanks
great
again,
conversation.
Doc. Yeah, we'll
Thank
have
you.
you
And thanks for
again.
everybody's great comments. It was really awesome.
Yeah, hopefully Clarence will wear his Go M.I.A. shirt next week. Bye, guys.
Thank you so much.
And
All right.
Robert.
Have a great day.